In the last video, we went ahead and created our index.html file. We brought in all the style sheets we need, JavaScripts from Foundation, and so on. So now what I want to do is continue on building some of the inner HTML pages. So let's go ahead and create a new document, and we're going to call it about.html. And this is just going to represent the inner pages of our WordPress theme. Alright, so we'll open that up, and let's just copy what we have in our index.html and just paste that in. Okay, now we're going to leave most of this, the top bar, the header, let's see, we're going to get rid of these articles. Actually, you know what, we'll keep one of them and get rid of the other two. Alright, we don't need this clear fix either. We do need the footer. Okay. Now, right below the header, we're going to have a title section. So we're going to give this a class of title section. And let's put a paragraph here with a class of, we'll say, class of welcome or welcome text. And what I'm doing here is this. If we go to our WordPress site and we go to about, we're going to have this bar right here. So this will just say welcome to, and then we'll have an H1. We'll say about us. And then I'm going to paste in a paragraph here with some dummy text, and it's going to have a class of subtext. Alright, so that's the title bar. And then down here, we're going to have two columns. Okay, we're going to have the sidebar and then the main area. So let's create a div with the class of row. And then we need our column divs. So we're going to say div class large 8 columns. And then we're going to have large 4 columns. Okay, so this here is going to be the main area. So what I'm going to do is copy this whole article section, and we're going to paste that in here. Okay, instead of the class of post, we're going to give it a class of single page. Alright, and then let's see, we're not going to need the date. Okay, so we'll just have an H3 paragraph. Let me just paste in another one. Okay, we're not going to need this read more. We're not going to have this post image. Okay, so that should be the end of the article. And then in the 4-column div, we're going to put a div with the class of well. Alright, and then in there we're going to have a div with the class of sidebar widget. And there'll be a sidebar widget div on every widget that we put in. Alright. So let's put an H3. And then I'm going to paste in a list. Alright, and then we'll have underneath that, we'll have another sidebar widget. We just indent these. Okay, and then this one will be archives. and we'll say May 2016. Alright, so now we have two sidebar widgets, and that should be good. So let's save that and go back to our template. If we click About, okay, so that's our About page with no styling. Now we'll move on to the gallery page. So let's see. Okay, we're going to create a new file here, and we're going to call this gallery.html, and we'll open that with Sublime Text, and then let's just put in everything from the About page. We'll copy that whole thing and then paste it in. Alright, and let's start with the title section, which is right here, and we're going to change this to gallery. Alright, and then down here we're going to get rid of this whole row, which ends here. Okay, even the sidebar. And then we're going to just paste in this section. Save it. Okay. Actually, let's just do 3. We'll do 3 images. Okay, so that's our gallery, and you can see we already have the hover effect because we're using the hover.css classes. Okay, so now for the blog page. We'll open that up. And we'll just copy what we have. We'll copy what we have in gallery. Okay, so we just want to, let's change the title to blog, and then this whole section we're going to get rid of the gallery. And then I'm just going to paste in a blog post. So it's an article with the class of blog post. We have a row, and then we have our thumbnail. Then we have a div with the class of meta. This is going to have the username, the date, things like that. And we're also using Font Awesome icons here. Then we have the title, which also has a link to the single blog post. Then we have the content, and that's it. So let's copy that article or post and paste it in 2 more times, and we'll just change. Let's go to the second one, and we'll change the image to post2.jpg, and then the third post we'll change the image to post3. Alright, and then we'll go and take a look at that, and there's our blog. Okay. Now for the single HTML, we need to create that. That's for the single blog post view. And I know it can be some extra work to basically create the entire site in just HTML, but once you get to the actually programming the WordPress theme, it makes things a lot easier. You can just take the style sheet and just paste it in. You don't have to worry about that stuff. Maybe some touch-ups at the end, but I think in the long run it makes things a lot easier. Alright, so let's copy what we have in About HTML. I think that would be the closest. And we will paste that in single. Okay, and let's go to where we have the title section, and this will just be the name of the post. We'll just say blog post 1. This will be an excerpt from the post. And then down here, let's change the class to single blog post. And then we can get rid of this post description div. We don't need that. Okay, what we want here now is the image. So we'll say div class post thumbnail. And in here we're going to have our image tag. Okay, and then underneath that we'll have our meta. And I'm just going to paste that in. Okay, so same thing, we just have a UL with the username, the date, and the categories. And then we have our title here, then the content, and that should do it. We have the sidebar in here as well. So let's save that and go to single HTML, and it should look like that. Alright, so we have all of our pages now. It looks horrendous, but we don't have any styling yet. So that's what we'll be doing in the next part.